Hey, happy Friday to you. It is June 24th. Time for this week's Friday Funnies. I just wanted to stand up, show you my summer shirt because summer is finally here. It got here on Tuesday, and that means ever since, the days have started getting shorter. But fortunately, the world has been rescheduled to end on October 21st, and daylight savings time doesn't end until November 6th. So you know what that means? This year, we don't even have to adjust our clocks. And that's good news. And trust me, you got to take good news wherever you can find it. And this week, I seem to find it all over the place, although not all of the news is good, at least to the people involved in these stories, but it is all funny. But I'll tell you what, I'll just report, let you decide whether this week's stories are A, good news, B, funny news, or 3, more idiots doing more stupid stuff. All right, in Portland, Oregon, a 21-year-old man was caught by security camera footage urinating into the city reservoir. Now, this is a really yucky thing. You know, it's like when somebody pees in the pool. It's disgusting, but it quickly dissipates. And in this case, it would have been one man's pee in 8 million gallons of water. But the authorities in charge of the Portland water system thought that the tinkling trespasser posed a threat to public safety, and they did what they thought was the best idea: drain the 8 million gallon reservoir. Now, you know, I don't want to drink pea water any more than the next guy, but I think this was a bit of overcompensation, especially since the reservoir was used by ducks and other waterfowl and not just as a swimming area, if you get my drift. So this means that the Portland water authorities will tolerate tons of duck poop, but not one drop of probably what was recycled beer. Here's a little tip if you're traveling to Portland: drink bottled water. Now, the headline of this next story is what caught my eye, so let me bring it to you intact. Here it is. Woman pleads guilty to hiding stolen fur in underwear. Now, at first, I thought I read this wrong, and it was about a woman who stole underwear by stuffing them in her fur coat. But in fact, and unbelievably, Stephanie Moreland stuffed an entire fur coat in her underpants. David Copperfield couldn't even do this. But Stephanie is a rather very plus-size woman who modified her underpants by cutting out the butt portion. Okay, so now it's kind of a modified thong. Let that rest on your brain for a little bit. And that way she could pull out the front portion and stuff in the fur coat. And that's exactly what she did. She was arrested a short time later, and the store recovered the $6,500 coat. But knowing where it's been, they admitted that it's going to be hard to sell. I guess desperate times call for desperate measures. Over in Sydney, Australia, a man in the hospital was being treated for alcoholism. Now, he really needed a drink, but since Australian hospitals don't serve beer, a surprise to me, who knew, he turned to the next best thing and drank 6 bottles of hand sanitizer. Now, these were big bottles. 6 bottles were about a half a gallon of this goo that the guy gulped down to the point where he had a blood alcohol level of 0.271, which is about, 6 times the legal limit over in Australia. On the good side, however, on the bright side, his insides have never been more sanitary, and after a meal, he farts bubbles. Well, we all know that Jack Kevorkian, known as Dr. Death, has passed on, but I'm here to tell you that I think it's still possible to end your life with little or no effort. All you have to do is to get to the San Diego County Fair and seek out Chicken Charlie's Food Shack. Once you're there, you'll find 300-pound Chicken Charlie cooking up his latest invention, deep-fried Kool-Aid. Now, in the past, apparently Charlie has offered deep-fried Oreos and deep-fried Klondike bars, but this is his first effort in Kool-Aid. He mixes the Kool-Aid powder in like some sort of a dough, so he throws a lump of Kool-Aid in the dough, and then he hands in a handful of cholesterol and some trans fatty acids and stuff like that. Then he deep-fries the entire dough ball. And the result is it's enough to really just stop your heart. It's $5.95 for a basket of the deep-fried Kool-Aid, and you have to bring a note from your doctor. Our final story this week is also the winner of our Dumbass of the Week award. And this week it goes to 20-year-old Sean Schmidt from Buffalo, New York. Sean was riding with his friend, and his friend's car decided to stand up through the sunroof while they were going down Interstate 190. So he's up there and he's waving, looking around, notices the police car right behind them has turned their lights on. Sean now realizes he's in trouble, so he decides to ditch the bag of marijuana that he has with him by throwing it out the sunroof, where it lands on the hood of the police car. Cops pulled him over and ticketed Sean for both marijuana possession and the real reason they were after him in the first place, not wearing a seatbelt. Hey, that's all I have for you this week. Be sure to be with us next week for our kickoff to our 4th of July holiday special edition Friday Funnies. I don't even know what to expect, but I'm sure it'll be a good time. In the meantime, please resend, retweet, repost these funnies to everybody you know. Let's get more people laughing. See you next week.